her, so why don't each take a chance to congratulate her.
Well, Ms. Pamela Grenwood,
Không cái chuyện
I
là
know
mấy cái chuyện của mình quất niềm
you
đắp nên
played many hats over the years. So I have many opportunities, you and I, to chat about your family, your church, and also being a community activist. You are. I know you will find
mấy cái hình này
to the VMLS after you retire. But I just can't believe time really flies by fast. Just the other day, you said you have 3 more years. And so I was rather shocked that the day has come to you to, but you know, I really admire you, very humble ethic, and every time I see you, I think of you, I think of the special events, the summer event concerts and the movie in the park. And so every time I went to those events, I always noticed that you were there. And thank you for your service, and please come back, don't be a stranger. And I know you will be here every time we have council meetings, and thank you for the community.
For sure.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
This
chắc anh cũng
I didn't know until now you
chụp
work
vài
in the
lỗi
city.
bạn
Most of the time, I saw you, attending council meeting, and I thought that you were an activist. But I told myself that, okay, how come this very nice lady didn't talk much? She's very nice. So you, for that, I think you are nicer than what I think. So thank you for working for the city, and okay, I hope that in the future you will keep for your endeavor.
I love my city.
Thank you. And Pam, I got a short time knowing you since I just got elected with Vice Mayor Napquan this November. And we see you at every event helping Vanessa. And you're always on top of things. You're always asking us, council, we need anything. So you are a servant heart leader, and I do appreciate that, and you model that for us. And thank you so much, Pam, for that. And may God bless you on your retirement. And I know you have a lot of grandkids you will have a lot of time to enjoy. So God bless you. Thank you, Pam.
Thank you. Well, Pam, I hate to see you go. I mean, you were always so helpful and always going above and beyond. And every time I see you, you always have this big, little smile on your face, which makes me smile and makes everybody happy. And it's so helpful. Just good luck. Hopefully, when you start traveling and enjoy your family. But hopefully, you're not a stranger. You come back and visit us when you can. So I'm so happy for you. Happy. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It is time to move on.
More pictures. Perfect. Ready, 1, 2.
Congratulations. And John, Vanessa Sasson's here. So you have to do that work now. Okay, next is oral communication. They asked the clerk to read the instruction here for the record, please.
This is the time of the meeting that members of the public may address the City Council regarding any items on the agenda or non-agenda items that are within the subject matter jurisdiction, except public hearing items. Members of the public wishing to address public hearing items shall do so at the time of the public hearing. Unless otherwise extended by a majority vote of the City Council, comments shall be limited to 3 minutes per speaker. Any person wishing to address the City Council in person should complete a green speaker slip that is provided at the entrance to the council chambers and submit the card to the city clerk. When your name is called, please step to the podium at that time, state the name and the city of residency, and for the record.
I just want to add to that. We have a resolution 4963, which passed many years ago by the previous council and the mayor. That is the resolution of the mayor and the city council for the city of Westminster establishing rules of decorum and security at the city council meeting. I know that I've been reading this over and over again. I just want to be careful in that. Let's treat everyone respectfully and make sure we listen to each other. And please refrain any after profanity language, because again, I have to remind you every time that we have students from high school and from homeschool. You work to listening to that type of stuff, right? So I hope that you follow that, and if not, then I have to, as a presider and a mayor, I have to stop that from that. You will do that. So would you please, Madam Clerk, go ahead and call for first speaker.
The first speaker is Deborah.
Good evening, Deborah Mariscal, Westminster since 2000. Council members, Mayor, Chief. First of all, I would like to say kudos to our police department for keeping Liberty Park pretty much homeless-free for a while. I don't know how you're doing it, but great job. And second kudos is to Councilmember Monzo. I recorded rusted, badly deteriorated benches back in January through the city app. One of them was removed probably in February, but we had another one that was significantly rusted that would have been an issue if somebody sat on it, got cut, whatever. I posted something on one of the social media sites about it, and Councilmember Montrose jumped on it. That one was removed today, and another, or maybe yesterday, and another one that I had not recorded. And so thank you for doing that. Now we just need to get new seats for people who want to watch basketball, because now it's BYOB, bring your own bench. You guys are supposed to laugh there. Item 5.3, financial status. We need to bring more businesses into our city. I don't think that we need to do any more tax increases. We've got to do something to get businesses into our city. I realize that the last council did not pass Measure Y, and we lost a pretty significant amount of tax income because we lost a quarter. I get that, but we need to be financially responsible, and I'm not really in support of increasing our taxes anymore. 6.1. I would like to think that we all want respect, right? We want it, and so do we. And no cell phones ringing. If you're not giving it, we're not going to be able to get it back. Please put your cell phones away. Don't text during the meeting. Don't take pictures of citizens. I've seen some things on social media about that. That was not cool. And pay attention. Signs are fine as far as I'm concerned. And I don't appreciate having our Zoom removed. I travel quite a bit and I'm not able to be here in person, so you've taken away my ability to speak when I'm not able to come in person. And as far as making the starting time to 6 o'clock, how's that working out for you guys? I'm seeing meetings still going past 10, 11, or even later. Lastly, Westminster is a blend. We need to have all ethnicities taken care of, not just one.
Our next speaker is Nguyen Hung.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Congratulations, Carlos Mancho for Fullerton University. Anyway, cố vấn chính trị của thị trưởng, phó thị trưởng thành phố Westminster đã vi phạm nghị quyết 4953 của thành phố Westminster.
He said your advisor had violated resolution 4953 that you have passed.
Thưa quý vị, ngày 11 tháng 9 năm 2019, thành phố Westminster đã ra nghị quyết 4953 do đề nghị và soạn bởi nguyên thị trưởng Chí Tạ và nhanh chóng đã được thông qua bởi 5 nghị viên của thành phố là Chí Tạ, Carlos Manzo, Kimberly Hall, Tài Đỗ và Chí Nguyên.
On September 11, 2019, the City of Westminster issued Resolution 4953 proposed and drafted by former Mayor Chita and quickly approved by 5 city councillors, Chita, Carlos Manzo, Kimberly Hall, Taido, Charlie Chi Nguyen.
Nghị quyết này nhằm đề cao cờ vàng ba sọc đỏ, lá cờ di sản của Việt Nam Cộng Hòa và đã lên án các ký giả thân công và những người có quan điểm thân chính quyền Việt Nam đã tạo ra nhiều ngộ nhận trong cuộc sống của cư dân thành phố Westminster nói riêng và quận Cam nói chung.
This resolution aimed to uphold the yellow flag with 3 red stripes, the heritage flag of the Republic of Vietnam, and condemns pro-communist journalists and people with pro-Vietnamese views, which have created many misunderstandings in life of residents in the city of Westminster, in particular in Orange County in general.
Họ mượn cớ tấn công các nhà báo thật tại quận Cam đã đi về Việt Nam nhiều lần như là phố Công Sa TV, Việt Weekly Magazine và tôi, nhà báo Nguyễn Phương Hùng. Nhưng họ nhắm vào cá nhân tôi vì tôi thường khiếu nại những việc làm sai trái của họ trong các phiên họp của thành phố Westminster.
They used the excuse to attack journalists in Orange County who had traveled back to Vietnam many times, such as Formosa TV, Việt Weekly Magazine, and me, meaning Hồng Nguyen, journalist Nguyễn Phương Hùng. But they target me personally because I often complain about their wrongdoing during the regular session of the city of Westminster.
Tuần qua, ông Ngô Kỷ, một nhà hoạt động trong cộng đồng tại quận Cam là một chính thức tố cáo ông Bùi Mạnh Cường, một cố vấn chính trị cho nhóm dân biểu Trần Thái Văn. Hiện nay, ông Bùi Mạnh Cường đang là trưởng ban vận động tranh cử cho ông Trần Thái Văn vào chức vụ giám sát viên đơn vị 1 quận Cam. Ông cũng là nguyên trưởng ban vận động tranh cử cho ông Trần Thái Văn, dân biểu Tạ Đức Chí, Charlie Nguyễn Mạnh Chí, Nam Quan Nguyễn và nhiều dân cử người Mỹ gốc Việt tại quận Cam.
Last week, Mr. Thi Ngo, a community activist in Orange County, officially denounced Mr. Bùi Mạnh Cường, a political advisor to the group of former Congressman Van Tran. Currently, Mr. Bùi Mạnh Cường is the head of the campaigning committee for Mr. Van Tran to be the supervisor of District 1, Orange County. He is also the former head of the campaign committee for Mr. Van Tran, Congressman Chita, Patri, Charlie Chi Nguyen, Nam Quan Nguyen, and many Vietnamese American political candidates in the Orange County.
Theo sự tố cáo của ông Ngô Kỷ, một nhà hoạt động trong cộng đồng nói nổi tiếng tại quận Cam, và tôi đã phối kiểm những tố cáo của ông Ngô Kỷ là chính xác, và chúng tôi cực lực lên án nghị quyết 4953 của thành phố Westminster đã chấp thuận. Tôi cực lực lên án và đề nghị các dân cử Mỹ gốc Việt từng được ông Bùi Mạnh Cường làm cố vấn chính trị cần phải lên tiếng về việc này.
According to the denunciation of Mr. Thi Ngo, a well-known community activist in Orange County, and KBCHN TV double-checked the accusations of Mr. Thi Ngo. He strongly condemned the city's resolution 4953, which, according to him, violated. He strongly condemned the Vietnamese American elected officials who were once political advisors by Mr. Bùi Mạnh Cường must need to speak out about this.
Nghị quyết 4953 cần phải thu hồi vì ông Bùi Mạnh Cường đã về Việt Nam sống 3 tháng liên tục từ tháng Giêng đến tháng 4 năm 2023, trong khi ông đang là trưởng ban vận động tranh cử của ông Trần Thế Văn.
According to him, Resolution 4953 needs to be revoked because Mr. Cường Bui returned to Vietnam, had lived there for 3 consecutive months from January to April 2023, while he still is the head of the campaign board for Mr. Van Tran.
Ông Bùi Mạnh Cường đã trao tặng quà cho các viên chức lãnh đạo và đảng viên nòng cốt của Đảng Cộng sản Việt Nam trong thời gian ở Việt Nam.
Mr. Cường Bui presented gifts to leading officials and key members of the Communist Party of Vietnam during his stay in Vietnam.
Ông Nguyễn Nam Quan cũng đã vi phạm nghiêm trọng nghị quyết 4953, đã đi khi tự ý gặp Tổng lãnh sự Nguyễn Trác Toàn vào ngày
Mr. Nam Quan also seriously violated Resolution 4953.
Thank you very much.
Madam Clerk, before you call up the second, let me have a few moments.
Absolutely.
I was about to interrupt you, but then I let you finish this time, but I will revisit this with our city attorney. First, I have to apologize for those who may mention because you are not here to defend yourself. If you were supposed to address to the council, not to blame on anybody, that's number one. Number two, Bùi Mạnh Cường is not my advisor, and this is a totally accusation, and you take it into the context that that is not supposed to be bring up to the tonight meeting. I would like to ask right now, let me ask City Attorney, can you clarify that for me, please? If I were to jump in and stop them from, accusing people or this and that, and when they are not here.
I think the better course of action is what you just did, which was a brief clarification of the comment. What you did was appropriate after they're complete.
All right.
Better not to interrupt.
So, thank you very much. Okay, Madam Clerk, who will call this next speaker?
You Madam. Our next speaker is Tim Hogan.
It's arithmetic. You hear it all the time. It's just math. In other words, it's self-evident, it's so basic anyone can understand. The dire state of our city's finances, however, are simpler, for even a child can grasp the danger. It's arithmetic. We have limited reserves, and for every dollar we acquire, we spend $1.25. Do the arithmetic. It's unsustainable. Many of us addressed this council numerous times last year in support of what would be Measure Y. Despite all, the council consumed its time then, as does so much of today, with the immaterial and the irrelevant. The wasteful spending, the obsession with issues outside our control, the pettifoggery and the bickering, all of this wastes our time, drains what little resources we have, and does nothing to solve the central issue of our day, our lack of money. The chance to place the 0.5% tax proposed in tonight's agenda was needlessly lost last year in the senseless chaos and confusion caused by this council's inability to act. And this paralysis continues to this day. Time after time, we see valid proposals crushed for no good reason. Even the mall redevelopment seems to be falling apart, with only one developer reported to be interested now in moving forward. I predict we'll ultimately see far more housing and nowhere near as much commercial development when this all plays out. With so much lost commerce and so many cash-only businesses refusing to collect taxes, this proposed 0.5% tax may prove insufficient to move us forward. Like the Red Queen in Alice, we will run twice as fast to get half as far, for the tax will be a larger cut of an ever-shrinking pie. The favorite argument council gave to oppose putting Measure Y on the ballot was a desire not to raise taxes. Yet if we don't solve our financial quagmire, we'll tax us all with reduced services, delayed maintenance, unaddressed pestilence, and civic decay, taxes from which there will be no relief. 8 months since Y passed, and we're told bankruptcy may be only 3 years away. This does not instill faith. I hear often, why give more money to a council that can't manage what they have? Sadly, I must admit, I have no answer, and yet I see no alternative. Why was supposed to be a stopgap, a temporary fix while the council got our finances in order. Now, with no viable alternative available, an additional tax seems the best course, much as we citizens prefer a more innovative, creative approach. That just isn't in the cards. It's time for you to act, and putting 0.5% for the voters is a wise decision. You must act, and to do so, you just need to recognize the pluses and mostly minuses of this city. It's simple, it's arithmetic.
Is Kim Springer.
Hello, City Council, Lord Chief. I'd like to thank you for this opportunity to speak with you. But at this time, I would like to address Amy Canwas directly. While I appreciate your passion for issues at the state and federal level, and I believe they are important and can affect our city, I believe too much emphasis is given to this, and more attention should be given to the people of District 1 and the City of Westminster. Little Saigon plays an important role in our history, no doubt, but it is not the entire city. District 1 has its own set of issues that need to be addressed, and here are some examples. The street vendors. I know the second reading was done, and we're past the 30-day waiting period, so my concern is, have the vendors complied with the regulations set forward? And if not, who's going to enforce this? Is it code enforcement, or is it the officers, or the police? I'd love to help, honestly. The homeless encampment off Willow Lane that materialized after the closing of the 405 North Willow exit, it's huge. I'd hate to run a business over there. The area behind the gas station off Willow and Milton, the green fencing surrounding the property is continuing falling down, and it's an eyesore for over 25 years. The ongoing graffiti that the West 13 gang is doing all over. It's more and more. Would you feel safe coming to this area if you see this? I hate inviting people over. These are just a few examples of issues that stick out. It goes without saying, our area is starting to look more run down, which affects homeowners and home prices, which ultimately affects property taxes and income into the city. Last but not least, Amy, I was disappointed by the disrespect you showed a recent resident named Danny at a previous council meeting, not even looking or acknowledging him while he was respectfully talking about issues in District 1. As an elected official, people will love you or hate you. But I do know they deserve your respect. You were elected for a common goal to support District 1. You love to use the word transparency. I would like for you to be transparent in your position as a city leader, not someone looking to move up a political ladder. It's not about personal recognition here. We need to fight for Westminster. Please be part of the solution and not the problem. Thank you.
I don't want to do this, but I know that HĐTP had taken action on the vendor street when we get to the 30-day time frame. And I'd like to give them, I don't want to discredit them, so why don't they go ahead and briefly respond to your question.
Actually, I can answer
Okay,
that. Yes,
okay.
so I can actually answer that. We had indicated previously that because this is a very sensitive issue that we were going to roll out with a workshop, with materials. So we're looking to ramp that in the next couple of weeks once we're done with our materials, and then we're also going to assign staff that's going to be going out in the evenings to meet the street vendors, because as we know, not all of them operate in the daytime. Some do, but not all. We're also in contact with other agencies that would be related to the street vendor. So whether it's healthcare agency, and to trying to put together that workshop, so trying to finalize a date for that, so that we can assist anyone who needs assistance in our 3 languages. To go through that process. And so hopefully we would be looking, maybe to start, by the end of the summer. So it is a little bit more than our 30 days, obviously, of enacting the ordinance, but it does allow some time to get with outreach and ensure that everyone understands and we have all the materials ready. So.
Thank you very much. I hope that answered part of your question, because I know that they've been working on it. I will stop there. Okay, next speaker, please.
Our next speaker is Michael.
In the last meeting, your comments towards the city manager and the city staff were reprehensible. What you essentially did is you insulted them and accused them of lying about the contractor for the billboard contract. That's not what you do. You're not involved in those negotiations. That's why you have an entire city staff. So maybe you should pay attention to that. And I don't know where the invisible man went, but he's been gone now. You and he show up at a Memorial Day event and act like it's a photo op. Standing in front of that statue representing those men that died protecting Vietnam, the men and women that died over there in all of the US wars. And you treated it like a photo op. My friends' names are on that wall. And that offended the hell out of me. How about growing up? Another thing, while I'm on a hot roll here, speaking of photo ops, the invisible man misses a meeting yesterday, but boy, he showed up for the photo op for the groundbreaking. He made sure of that. I'm surprised he started walking away from the photo op here this evening. Last but not least, how many more of our First Amendment rights are going to be squelched here? 6.1, I wish I had all the backup information that this city council had. But just be careful when you start stepping over those First Amendment boundaries, that stuff will come back and bite you right in the backside. And you'll find yourself either being sued by a private citizen or an entity or something like that. You may find yourself behind the 8 ball having to explain why there's arbitrary rules against this. I'm done. Every time I come in here, every meeting I come in here, it gets more and more disgusting. I was an elected official. I didn't act like that.
Our next speaker is Tina. Good evening. I also made some flyers for you too as well, a pamphlet, if you want to call it. My name is Tina. I'm a mother of 3 boys, and I haven't seen my boys in 2 years. They were kidnapped due to domestic violence. I'm a victim of mental abuse, verbal abuse, and sexual abuse in Westminster School District. When I was 7 years old, I was molested by a female babysitter. I told my husband over the years, and my husband knew this and used this against me with my middle school bullies that turned into high school bullies, and now they're city leaders, just as like Pam here, her whole family. I had to escape this domestic violence, but how when I had no support, no family, and all your family members are pedophiles hiding with your own uncle working for the LAPD? I had to fight. I had to create a city group called Westminster Hope and Opportunity on Facebook, also known as WHO. Amy West, you have to remember me. If you don't, that's not my fault, but it's your problem because I want to seek justice and hope. And I hope your people will spend the rest of your life in prison. I'm a medium and a psychic that hears my ancestors and those war drums. Shame on you for letting these children down. What kind of parent are you?
All of you, what kind of parents are you? How can you sit there and let your people keep suffering, especially the children? What kind of humans are you? Because all I see is a genocide. I respect the 3-minute rule because I can do a lot in 3 minutes. Musicians can write their life in a song. For those people who love to complain about the 3-minute speaking time, organization is key. Less is more. For the people, I'm showing my offsprings how a chief and a warrior can be 2 different things. But if life makes you become both, make magic out of it, be a good ancestors, and the universe will reward you in so many ways. Everyone needs help. Help should be welcomed and free. We just don't start off running. It's baby steps. It's cleaning house and time is up. And also, thank you for the Westminster Police Department and Fire Department because I was hit by a car. It was another teenager. And this is the second time I was hit by a teenager going down Westminster. And I almost lost my firstborn son because of a teenager. And now I don't have my sons. And this is the story that I'll tell them. Thank you for your time.
On behalf of the City Council, sorry to hear what's happened to you. Hope that you will soon recover.
Our next speaker is Terry Raines.
Good evening. Congrats to our PD for participating in the Special Olympics torch run and to our explorers for winning first place in crime scene investigation at the Vegas competition. Item 5.3, the matrix implies this was to be a study session. Enhancement, no, this would be a new 1/2 cent sales tax increase ballot measure. Council does not raise taxes, only the voters can. Council must not suppress our right to vote, but you extremists will try. Item 5.4, no, a public affairs consultant for federal legislative advocacy services? You mean lobbyist. Lipstick on a pig. Friend of yours looking for a lucrative gig again, like Deja Vu, Tyler Dipp. Our leadership team already works closely with our U.S. Representative Michelle Steele's office. When a city hires a federal lobbyist, it's usually because they have a shovel-ready large project that they're seeking major funding for. You two should stop obsessing about federal and state issues and start focusing on our city issues. Item 5.5, oh my God, for F's sake, do we really have to listen to Amy grandstand again after wasting 40 minutes of our time at a prior meeting over this BS? Poor little baby wants her name in lights. Amy, narcissists have an unreasonable high sense of self-importance and seek too much attention and admiration at the expense of others. The format of staff reports is an administrative decision. Everyone tried to explain this to you, Amy, that when the council body votes to request a subsequent item be brought back, regardless of who suggested or who made the motion, it rightfully comes from administration. So get over yourself, woman. Item 6.1, you are targeting my freedom of speech unconstitutionally based on my signed content. If my sign said, Charlie's awesome, Amy's smart, and Quan is great, we would not be here. My signs are 8.5 by 11. They do not disrupt meetings or city business and do not block people's view. You 3 tyrants have already slashed our speaking time 40%, eliminated our Zoom access, tried to intimidate us with threats, attacks, rude comments, inflammatory speeches, constant interruptions, and even photographed us from the dais. If I wear a shirt that has messages you don't like, are you going to make me strip right here at the podium? FYI, Fullerton has no sign size limit, and they allow public comments on every agenda item and Zoom access. And in my 25 years of local activism, I've never seen such a sick and twisted authoritarian council majority. Mark my words, this is going to backfire on you. Hey, Charlie, some questions, not allegations. Where were you right before you smashed that Tesla into a local business on May 27th? A restaurant or perhaps in Doe's office upstairs? Were you or anyone else drinking? Who was your passenger? Was it your Tesla or someone else's? Why did you address this only on Vietnamese media? Hey, didn't you already also have another serious car accident on March 31st? We don't need to worry about the city driving out our small businesses because we have a mayor that drives into them and destroys them. Way to go, Charlie. Now, I have a handout that was supposed to be handed out to you. It's basically the city's code of ethics and conduct for elected officials and the public official and employee interaction ordinance. And I've highlighted all the clauses that you three violate on a regular basis. Read it.
Our next speaker is Jessica.
You can also read the next person so that they can be prepared.
And right after Jessica, our final speaker is Khai. All right, good evening. My name is Jessica Losman.
I'm a resident of Westminster and I live in District 1. As a taxpayer, I'm here tonight to voice my concern about a costly decision that you'll be discussing. It's the proposal to hire a public affairs consultant for federal legislative advocacy. That's a mouthful. While I understand the importance of advocacy, I believe that our city simply does not have the financial resources right now to consider such an endeavor. The residents of Westminster entrust you with the responsibility to manage our tax dollars wisely. We rely on you to make decisions that prioritize our needs by addressing the most important pressing issues affecting our community, like economic development, infrastructure, and public safety. Hiring a public affairs consultant for federal legislative advocacy is undoubtedly an expensive endeavor. These consultants often command high fees for their services, which will burden our already strained budget. Please remember that every dollar spent on hiring such consultants will be a dollar taken away from crucial local projects and services that directly impact our lives. Furthermore, I think our city already has capable and experienced staff working to advocate for our interests. They possess a deep understanding of our city's needs and our city's assets. Instead of outsourcing this responsibility, we should empower our existing staff by providing them with the resources they need to effectively advocate for our city's priorities. And it's important to know that each of you have channels for communicating and advocating for our concerns with federal representatives. You could work with state representatives, senators, other local governments to ensure that our voices are heard at the federal level without the need to hire an additional public affairs consultant. So as a taxpayer and resident, I ask that you keep my concerns in mind when discussing the proposal, and I really think it's time to focus on being fiscally responsible by allocating our limited resources where they're most needed. Thank you for your time and attention.
Mr. Mayor, may I say something to address?
Okay,
Discuss briefly? Yeah. So Jessica, I appreciate your concern and letting us know. City Manager, are you able to?
Agenda is approved tonight regarding a advocacy for federal funding. Then you can let the public know, is it public record that they can know how much it costs for them?
So, yeah, so as part of the RFP process, so if the council tonight wishes for the city to move forward with the RFP process, part of that RFP process will include soliciting, obviously qualifications, but it also does include rates. So at some point before the council, when you go to approve a firm or an advocate, it will include a cost. So you'll learn what the cost will be.
So that's perfect. So Jessica, please follow up on that cost. And then also want to know, as a business owner, I just want you to know that we have to always put money in before we can get things in return. As you know, our city is pretty much in a deficit in the next few years, 2 or 3 years. So this is another yeah. So it's another way for us to get money into this city.
Thank you.
Okay.
Next speaker, please.
Good evening, everyone. Well, I'm so glad that you caught off your dogs. I don't see any more attack dogs. Well, you look around and the residents has been speaking tonight. Do you think they are Vietnamese communist cronies? Do you think that they're being paid by Hoan Kieu? Or are they being paid by Council Kimberly Ho or Phat Bui? They're not. Neither am I. Just so you know. And talk about, I'm glad some residents brought up the issues of bickering. Like I said, you brought it upon yourself. Instead of fighting the communists, doing it outside of the city, you brought it into City Hall. And now you're gonna serve the tycoons like before the month before, you run after Mr. David Young to apologize to him, and now you're kowtowing to Chiu Fa, to Frank Jiao, offering to build him a parking lot structure costing, I heard, dozens, $50 million, using the excuse that he's agreeing to put up a flag, the Republic of South Vietnam flag. That flag is going to cost the city $50 million. That's why I said, you guys are self-serving. You only serve yourself, self-interest group. You're cronies of the tycoons. Then I brought up the issue of bankruptcy when I first ran in 2012. And you deny it, and now you're stealing my idea, and said you're going to turn Little Saigon into a tourist attraction, but you're doing it all wrong. You're just liars. That's why we need to break up the Gang of Three. It's a cancer to our city. I guess it's too much trouble to recall you, Charlie. But tonight, I publicly demand and request that you tell Nam Quang to resign, because we need to break you guys up. You guys don't serve the city. You get the majority to serve the tycoons, to make money for yourself. If he does not resign, we will recall him. Get the message.
You got a message, please be respectful. Next.
We have no further speakers, Mayor.
All right, thank you very much. At this point here, we are moving to consent calendar. All matters listed under consent calendar are considered routine and may be approved by a single motion, followed by a roll call vote. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless members of the City Council or staff request of
Dạ vâng, cảm ơn các bạn đã theo dõi nha. Mình đã phát biểu xong, chắc có lẽ mình sẽ ngưng chương trình ở đây. Và xin hẹn gặp lại các bạn trong những chương trình tới. Xin thân ái chào tạm biệt.
And hearing none, Council.
Ai xui miệt ấy ghé về thăm, bún cá phở quyên vẫn mãi thèm, hầm rục xương cá ngọt liệm, chả cá vàng tươi ngon giòn, nước lèo bốc khói thơm ngát, tương hành chanh ớt chị mời em, ăn tô bún cá chứa chan tình người.
Lan Anh Kitchen 714 576 6070 576 6070.
Bún riêu nóng hổi, ai mời mình ăn đi ta? Lan Anh Kitchen xin mời một tô bún riêu, cà chua sốt chín, đậu hũ rau xanh đậm đà màu riêu. Được ăn, được nói, được gọi đem về, bún riêu thơm ngon đậm đà.
Lan Anh Kitchen 714 576 6070 576 6070.
Ai xui miệt ấy ghé về thăm, bún cá phở quyên vẫn mãi thèm, hầm rục xương cá ngọt liệm, chả cá vàng tươi ngon giòn, nước lèo bốc khói thơm ngát, tương hành chanh ớt chị mời em, ăn tô bún cá chứa chan tình người.
Lan Anh Kitchen 714 576 6070 576 6070.
Thương nhau múc chén chè xanh, làm tô mì Quảng em mời chị ăn liền.
Lan Anh Kitchen 714 576 6070 576 6070.
Bún riêu nóng hổi, ai mời mình ăn đi ta? Lan Anh Kitchen xin mời một tô bún riêu, cà chua sốt chín, đậu hũ rau xanh đậm đà màu riêu. Được ăn, được nói, được gọi đem về. Bún riêu thơm ngon đậm đà.
Lan Anh Kitchen 714 576 6070 576 6070.
Ai xui miệt ấy ghé về thăm. Bún cá phở quyên vẫn mãi thèm. Hầm rục xương cá ngọt liệm, chả cá vàng tươi ngon giòn, nước lèo bốc khói thơm ngát, tương hành chanh ớt. Chị mời em ăn tô bún cá chứa chan tình người.
Lan Anh Kitchen 714 576 6070 576 6070.